Good day everyone, I'm Irvin Cabal. For this project, Job Jason Chua and I focus on SDG 12, Responsible Consumption and Production. In this part of the video, I'll demonstrate how we apply the FIFO-Q method to efficiently manage perishable grocery items. The Q grocery items class provides a structured approach to managing a queue where elements wrap around upon reaching the end. This class serves as a blueprint encapsulating both the data and the functions necessary to maintain and manipulate the circular queue. Upon creating an instance of circular queue or queue grocery items, the constructor method is automatically invoked. It initializes both the head and tail pointers to queue size, a conventional approach that indicates an empty queue. These pointers dynamically adjust as elements are inserted or removed, ensuring smooth operations within the circular structure. To determine whether the queue is empty, the is empty method compares the head and tail pointers. If these pointers are equal, it confirms that no elements are currently stored, indicating an empty queue. The is full method verifies whether the queue has reached maximum capacity. By calculating the next position of tail and comparing it to head, the method ensures that if tail advances to the point where it matches the head, the queue is recognized as full. The modulo operation plays a key role in maintaining the circular nature of the queue, allowing elements to wrap around correctly. The insert method is responsible for adding a new element to the queue, requiring both an item name and its expiry date as inputs. Before proceeding with insertion, it checks if the queue is full. If full, it exits without adding the element. Otherwise, it updates the tail pointer using modulo arithmetic to maintain the circular structure. The new item and its expiry date are then stored at the position indicated by the updated tail, effectively enqueuing the element. To remove the front element from the queue, the remove method first checks if the queue is empty. If it is, the method exits without making any changes. Otherwise, it retrieves the element at the position immediately following head, advances head using modulo arithmetic to maintain the circular structure, and returns the dequeued item. This process ensures the queue operates in a first in first out manner. The search method allows users to locate a specific item by name. It begins scanning from the position immediately after head, iterating through the queue until reaching tail. Modulo arithmetic ensures the method correctly handles wrapping around the circular structure. If a matching item is found, the method returns a tuple containing the index and item details. Otherwise, it returns none, indicating that the item is not present in the queue. To provide a clear overview of the queue's contents, the display method prints all stored elements along with their expiry dates. If the queue is empty, it prints a message indicating no available items and exits early. Otherwise, it begins displaying elements from the position immediately after head, iterating through the queue until reaching tail. Modulo arithmetic ensures elements appear in the correct order, reflecting the circular queue's structure accurately. Thank you for listening.
Hi everyone, I'm Job Jason Chua. In this part of the video, I will show you how to apply the LIFO stack method to create an efficient system for managing electronic waste using Python. This program simulates a receiving area where old devices are stored before recycling. Imagine a recycling center where people drop off their old devices. We need a way to keep track of items as they arrive. Remove the newest items first since they are easier to resell. Search for specific devices if needed. Manually remove a device if it was dropped off by mistake. To achieve this, I built a data structure using a circular linked list. This structure allows us to efficiently manage and retrieve items while keeping track of the most recently received items. These systems help business owners manage their stock efficiently. Newer models are more valuable and sell faster, so prioritizing their recycling makes sense from a business perspective. Plus, by making recycling more efficient, we help reduce e-waste, keeping harmful materials out of landfills and promoting a more sustainable approach to electronics disposal. Components of the system. First, e-waste. This represents each device, and it stores the device name and the next pointer to the next item. Second, the receiving area. This is where everything happens. It has a empty method. This checks if the stack is empty. It also has a push method. This adds a new device to the receiving area. Next, pop method. It removes the newest device for recycling. Then, search method. This checks if a device is still in the stack. Then, delete method. This manually removes a specific device. Then last, display method. This shows all devices currently waiting for recycling. Let's see it in action. First, we instantiate a receiving area class. Let's say 3 people drop off their old phones. We call push to add first Nokia phone, second iPhone 6, third iPhone 11. Since we prioritize recycling the newest items first, our stack looks like this. Now, let's check if iPhone 6 is still in the stack. Since it's still waiting for recycling, we get true. Time to recycle the newest device first. Pop removes the last item added. So, iPhone 11 is removed first, and now our stack looks like this. Now someone accidentally dropped off iPhone 6 and wants it back. We use delete to manually remove it. Our stack has just one item left. With just a few functions, we've built an efficient system to track electronic waste. Thank you.